my one and only wa boulelo wa bona, and it happened an experience in my house uti la krea and I am tshwara sharp di kwai wa bona ke yeah because ke tsaka ke mundisi ke tsaka ke di apara he ke change go pa ke nya go tatampela wa bona.
So like, you know, over again, I was like, I want to fix things. I want you.
Please,
So yeah, for the first question that you guys had about like if somebody looks at you and then you say I love you and I love you, nangar inahanisa pi. Are you sure that's for $1 million rands? Is that your final answer?
Is that your final answer?
You want to call a friend?
On Route 96.2, Mondays to Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. on TUT FM.
At exactly 13 minutes past the hour, 5 o'clock. Hello and welcome to the first half of the final hour of the show, that is. We are about to dive deeper into what would you do, right? So this is a segment where we give you a scenario, then you tell us what you would do if you were in such a scenario. But before we dive deeper into what would you do, Mayingaseri, let me remind you of the conversation that we've been having for the past 2 hours. If you were a young adult around the year 1960 in South Africa, around the time of the Sharpeville massacre, were you going to be one of the 7,000 people that protested, or would you have taken the back seat? I mentioned that when we started the show, the number would have been 7,001 if Baliditse Bakari. Habakalitsa Bakari, the number would have been 7,001. And since we are doing what would you do right now, Mayingaseri, there's a man who's itching to speak, right? Because as I'm speaking, he's fidgeting. He's like a kid, yeah. He's like a kid in a candy store. He's fidgeting. But let me remind you, Mayingaseri, when it comes to what would you do, we are also streaming on YouTube. So if you want to see the man that I'm talking about and what he's doing as I'm talking, you can catch him on YouTube when the video airs. But right now, we're about to dive deeper into what would you do. Let me start by introducing the guest who's going to be taking part in what would you do this week, right? So his name is Vose VR6 Msiza.
Yeah.
Motu Waholahisana. Say, good morning. Good afternoon.
What?
I guess good morning is fitting for a comedian.
What?
That, exactly that.
What? You did good morning for what?
What?
No, why you thinking? No. Introduce me properly, man.
All right. Let me cut the music. Let me cut the music and then go to Mepila.
Yeah.
All right. Introducing on En Route 962, right here on TTFM. That is your ultimate dial. We have in studio for you Vose VR6 Msiza Moto Waholahisaba.
If I knew how to whistle.
No, thanks, man. Thanks. No, thanks. No, thanks, man. No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, honestly, honestly, true. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've been aging. What?
Yeah, you finally on now.
Bruh.
Huh? What's up?
It's been a while. I got the call. When was this research? I don't. When? But why? You know, I get. See, like researcher, man.
You know what? The thing that's killing me is the repetition. I think I've been thanked enough times for the week.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? This is how I take this platform seriously. You know, like those presenters, the Baba Irandi, SABC News, weather. Yeah, it's so affirming. It's so getting to the point. It's so more especially when they just did the weather. After that, they did weather so fast. It's and then it tells me already time to speak on platforms like this. It's very, very important. So
it's very important and very limited. It is indeed very important and limited.
And then since I've been itching since last week, get a buyer.
Sure.
Yeah, this is the time. The time and platform.
Yeah, including that, man, because with introduce on the platform like this, you must be properly like a sorry ke Mzulu ne mara at least ke retanyana se we mina ngodlameni ngisijuba ka staba sibolukhulu akiri dawutese
mina so tsantso right mina ngithi yes the rotating cylinder Exactly. Before we get carried away, we introduced you as Vusi VR6 Msiza. Who exactly is this person? Where does the comedy come from?
Oh yeah, man. My name is Vusi. Vusi at home. Libizwe la go high vele. Ke Vusi, but I grew up around Pretoria. Ke le juguleni ke tla ka ntshela tsebo.
It's on my body.
Can't do that.
That's why I needed to introduce myself. Because now when I introduce myself, I'm a comedian. I go around making people laugh. So whenever I introduce myself, I'm like, hey, Ita Ola, who's this? AKA my studio.
I can imagine you doing that. Yeah, that.
The street Panzula, Kili Banzu, and Sarane. Yeah, the joke is that thing. One by one.
We're waiting for those jokes. Meaning said, in case you're wondering what we're halang on Route 962, it is time for us to play What Would You Do, right? So Gobala scenario, there's 3 scenarios in total. I'm gonna read the first scenario and we're all gonna go around saying what would we do in that situation. Right? Are we all ready? So the first one is you are chilling with a friend that you have a massive crush on, and they're telling you about something that happened in his or her relationship. And then they look at you in your face to elaborate the story. They then say, I looked at him or her in the face, like we are looking at each other now, and I told him or her, I love you. Then you mistakenly say, I love you too. What would you do?
Hey, man.
What? So, Msiza olebeletse lindo kama matlong. Yeah. And then Msiza obotsa lindo hore ke dagente. This is what transpired, right? And then Msiza obotsa lindo are happy dagente ke mbutsa gare I love you. And then lindo responds ka I love you too Msiza. What do we now do?
Hey, man.
Given the fact that Lindo has a crush on Msiza.
And you don't know that.
Hey, Munna. Hey, it's a trouble, ne?
It's tricky.
Yeah,
it's very tricky.
Imagine.
I don't know.
It's tricky.
Think about this properly.
What do you think about it, Lindo? What do you have to say?
Hey, man.
Yeah, one kokela, and then at the end of it, you're like, I told him that I love him, or I told him I love you, or I quote that I love you, and I'm like, I love you too.
I think I would hug you.
No, you have to remember in that scenario, I have a crush on you.
I don't know that.
But if you hug me, then it's signal wrong, miss.
No. It's actually the other way around.
So she has a crush on me.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, wait. No, it can't.
No. It's like this. Let me call that side and explain it properly.
Yeah. Please break it down, Mr. Producer, please.
So let's say, for example, it's me and Benzi. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm telling Benzi a story about what I did with my person. Yeah.
Yes.
Then I look at Benzi intimate, and Benzi has a crush on me. I'm like, I look at her face and I told her, I love you. But I'm referring to my person. Now Benzi, since she's in the zone, she says, I love you too.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
I would hug him.
So since we're going to be on YouTube, we might as well act it out. Yeah. So you're telling me the story.
So
with
like, I was like, I want to fix things. I want you.
Please,
So I'm telling him, or like, man, I really want us to get back together and fix things. And in that moment, I said, I love you.
I love you too.
See ya,
Just like that.
Yeah. Well,
no matter he messed up. I guess that's why I'm a reporter. I mean, male bestie.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's alright. It's alright. No, I don't know. Mine. I don't know.
I think I would like just go for it, like express my feelings for that person. But yeah, I love you.
As the crush.
Yeah.
So you use that moment to like seize everything. Yeah.
I'm already like, I just exposed myself. So I feel like I would just tell the person that I like you and I want to date you.
I don't know because I know now my one and only and it happened an experience in my house and I am tshwara sharp di kwai wa bona ke yeah because ke tsaka ke mundisi ke tsaka ke diapara ke he ke change go pa ke nyako tatampela wa
What do you mean?
Well, I mean you and it's not one tswara mara ke
wait nna ke lo ha o nka ira nka be sa sona ka re change globe no so go bo
Hasfetsa, it's the wrong size.
it's the wrong exactly
It doesn't fit him.
o gram size para size 6 kwa
It's
size 3
ah man I'm trying to be innovative in the house down the steps so like go gymming on the step man.
Absolutely insane. Benzi,
What would you do?
Benzi, no, before we get to me, Benzi, I think you've given this enough time to think. What would you do?
I say.
She said she's gonna take the
Oh,
opportunity.
you seize the moment.
My
Yeah.
feelings for
Oh,
my-
motohore ka shoka ikepela. That's actually crazy because that's the wrong timing, my sister.
I don't think so.
timing. I don't
I'm
think so.
venting
There's
to
never-
you.
There's never a right time.
So you,
Hey man, it
But
said
maybe-
that the best way to get over him is to get under him. So
oh my god,
might as well.
oh my god.
Might as well.
Ah man. I shouldn't say this mara ke bashimane ba le bo bakeng
No thing.
Ba le khalemang ka bona.
yeah ro go skolo
Kapela.
yeah go skolo wa bona ke re
No, but I mean, not on a literal sense, but I mean, I tell you, Hore, you know what? You deserve better than that. And sometimes the thing that you're looking for,
Is in front of you.
Yo.
Exactly.
Is in front of you.
exactly.
Period.
is in front
No,
of you
that's
where there's
amen.
when there's a communication breakdown, misunderstanding. Maybe I don't understand this. You didn't mean when you say I don't know.
Yeah, a communication breakdown, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can
Something
still use that
happened.
to seize the moment. We can.
Chemistry.
Yeah, like
Visa.
Yeah.
Eye contact is on 100.
Yeah, something that's my very dimas, eh?
Oh my gosh.
let me remind you, when you said what is happening right now is that we are playing What Would You Do, right? So this is basically where I get to tell you 3 scenarios, and each one of us in studio basically tells us what they would do if they ever found themselves in that scenario. So since we are still on YouTube, you don't forget to leave us those comments right down there so that next week we can get to read them and tell the listeners what would you have done in this situation. So scenario number 2, right? Your partner decides to invite you over to dinner with their parents. When you arrive, you mistakenly drop your bag. When you try to pick it up, you release a huge purr in your bottoms.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. You release a huge in your bottoms. What would you do?
Oh, what did I do, Baking? What did I do?
So basically,
What
you
would you do,
fought it.
Caesar? Yeah, you fought it basically.
No, I'm not. I've been in the most awkwardest situations in my life. I've been like even when I was coming here. Ke travel to get takes kaka venture the venture tsa moha.
Yeah.
Di soko di sa di driver.
Did you fart inside the taxi?
No.
He was explaining this. He's been through many awkward moments.
Given that he's a comedian, anything goes. Anything goes.
No, true story of my life. Not to get try so hard for batho ba lahe.
Yeah.
But if o ka moara public transport coming to Soshanguve, o fa ya ka di ventures tse dia sokodisa and o kore ba patalana ka chelete and then una lo monkentse lena go back seat o nyaka o ntsha chelete o fitlile nako la o patela o nyaka o ntsha from komrao like wa bona
Yeah.
le nna ke rectile be ha o nyaka o ntsha from wa bona komrao a etsa maisi until you fitla ko driver ba no driver ka re o sokodisa ke di gere antsa change I fitla mo speed hampong ha bone ro ira halang o tsia cheletela and nako mothakola e ntsha ka mo na you just fuck out disability expression you can imagine and then I fitla ko driver kwa driver le ena because now o tshwarana le di gere wa etsia o e bea mo molomo even worse
No way.
Emona listen o change di gere molo o beile 20 ranta mo. It's no longer about the fat now. Le rena ra utlo nka. So
Oh, ew.
driver le na wa utlo rwang ka maronya go tlhalosa a re ba bangwe a ba onka diteki ka mo taxing.
I think that's
So-
worse than a fart.
So, Nagomuto wants to this is basically the sound you heard.
Yeah.
This is what you heard.
Not like that. Not like that.
This is what you heard.
Yeah.
This is what you heard.
Don't play it again.
Don't. Do not.
Imagine if it, you know when they say people have a wet fart?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if it sounds like a wet fart, like it's.
Yo.
Ew. In
know you
front
have-
of your parents.
You know you have
now.
skid marks
Your
there now.
in-laws.
It's bad.
There's skid
Imagine
marks.
your in-laws.
Yeah,
It's in front of the in-laws. It is in front of the in-laws. Man, I have a question.
Yeah, what would you do?
What would you
That's
do,
why now, for nights, it's another thing because I'm shocked already coming here.
Another trauma.
Another trauma.
One
Needs
swara
counseling.
I think farting is natural, ne? And I wouldn't be embarrassed, to be honest. I'm being brutally honest. So I'll be like, sorry, because you guys also fart.
In private.
So that would be a justification.
but
Of, you
like-
guys also fart.
Natural.
She's gonna get away with a lot simply by
what if-
speaking
Yeah, simply by
like
speaking
I
like that.
couldn't hold it in, like, it just happened.
No, not get silent.
You know what? I think you can hear when someone is at that level, like level 5 in a relationship.
Oh,
Benzi
yeah,
is
when
there.
we- yeah,
yeah,
you're
Benzi's there.
comfortable in your
She's comfortable in her relationship. She's
I can't
there.
even pee
Yeah?
in the same room.
Why?
Wow.
I'm not.
Wait, be in the same room or same house?
Same room. Like maybe the bedroom has like the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
I can't pee there.
Why?
Why do you want to hear me fart and pee and do all of that?
Why do you pee and fart at the same?
No, like I'm just.
It's not so
No, it's
embarrassing.
an
It's not so
example.
embarrassing. It's
So
not
I can't even do it in front
It's
of
a
my
human
partner.
experience.
It's like here to
True, valid.
So now
Valid.
imagine in front of the in-laws. I'm gonna say sorry so many times.
So you'd say sorry. That's what you do.
I'm gonna say yo maholo aspising. It's like a pause.
You know what I do? I'd fake laugh. I'd fart and then I'd fake laugh. Like I'd burst out in laughter. I fake. Like oh my god, I can't believe it. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do that.
I so tell like I'm cool. The in-laws, they like
No.
They uptight
No, but I
and
mean,
serious.
Yeah,
Also.
it's an icebreaker. We'll make it an icebreaker. We'll make it an icebreaker. That's the only thing I can think of to save the situation, honestly.
Yeah,
Listen,
it's not part of
Listen would have a comeback.
Listen, just so traumatized. I think he's been here before. Especially given that he wrote this.
He wrote this, yeah, no.
No,
You've been here. Oh, Banta. Okay, Masuyek.
I'm the producer, guys.
Was it
Man,
was it Kohai Limpopo? They chase you out. They chase you out.
I don't know what's Itwa kan kung.
Plus ke le Limpopian, ke go botsa. Bampa teba tra nna gangsters e Limpopo. Ke go botsa choose. Gane o di a jwa.
Ooh.
Get
Wait,
out Tava choose.
I like this one.
Get out Tava choose. But before we get to the one that you like, which is scenario number 3, it is now exactly at the bottom of the hour, 17:30 minutes, which means it is time for our news headlines with Kamu, as well as our full sports bulletin with Melusi. Definitely where the Andrew team will love and leave you. But right now we're about to conclude what would you do, right? So we're still on the conversation of what would you do. And the third one is quite interesting if you ask me. It's one that I think I don't know how to explain it. All I can say, Gayona, is that it's tricky. And I think Majida Mapaya experienced this thing.
Yeah.
But before we continue, we have an extra man in the studio with us. Sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Alala, ke nna tshekedi munyamore le slamos. La ba gopola ma slamos. A le motho a khale o gopola generations ka tswini kiningini kikini pini wini ono we. Then we tell slamos. Yeah, what's up yo? Yo ntse ke le mametso on the road. Dipotso tsa lona di sisimisa mmele.
What is that? What is Sisibisa?
Sisimiso the males, girls.
Kids are giving you chills.
Hey,
or what?
we're getting sisimisa mmele in Samarima. No. So yeah, So thanks a lot for letting me be here. Yo, Vusi, what's up? Yeah, this is one of my good friends, man. We're actually rock performer tonight. Go King the Views or something like that. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, for the first question that you guys had about like if somebody looks at you and then you say I love you and I love you.
Yeah.
Nangar inahanisa pili. Are you sure that's for $1 million rands? Is that your final
Is
answer?
that your
that's the
final
final
answer?
answer.
You want to call a friend?
I can't work like this. I can't. But the last one is on what would you do rather is you have a baby with your ex-partner and they live in the same neighborhood as you. Baby mama Hanna Kasi. And you decide to take a walk. Then you walk past her and her new man in a car, right? One how
That's why it's funny.
And then as you walk past them, the kid goes out of the window and shouts, "Papa, come have a ride." What would you do?
Imagine.
The kid throws Papa down the mail. Oh, Mama down the
And
mail.
you walking.
And you're walking, yeah.
And I'm with my man in the car.
This is simple. This is simple. You told us about him, right? Sorry, somebody. Hey,
Like comedians.
Please. You told us about him. Why?
That is wild.
That's, I mean, hey, you're too loud. Hey, and then, I mean, about thousand feet. I mean, come on, get out of the situation.
No, but I mean, I get that. Then I do the same. Yeah, of course.
I think it's different with women.
You run into everyone.
Yeah, man. I would get in the car.
Would you? For a ride?
Hey, bana.
I want to get
Caesar?
What would I do? Like I'm already I'm perplexed. Like passage.
You are shocked, the guys.
Traumatized. Passage. Like I wouldn't stand. Let's say.
Would you be like, hey, like just look the other way? With amazes.
You know what I would do, right? My answer is going to be a bit on the risky side. Like, I should tread carefully. I should tread carefully. But what I would do is, right? Got a boy or girl? Nah. I get to mama how. I get to make an like a phone. And then the baby's not gonna understand.
No!
Driver passenger.
Why are you throwing heat?
No, but I mean the driver and the passenger are gonna get it. Okay, so be one of them on the floor on a mela.
Why on your call na le le motho wa ka?
Why you poison one?
The breaker was probably the guy's fault.
Imagine mutatem bargi VR6. Why full on a VR6 you?
Snap! You didn't say that.
Oh my goodness, not safe.
Was at least I get overking Picanto. Overking is that your hip hop name? If Overking was to have a hip hop name, yeah, you'll call me Overking Picanto.
Call me Overking Picanto.
Come on.
I can't work like this way, say. But that is it for En Route 962 right on TTF. Over 96.2, that is your ultimate dial. We did give an ultimate show. The past 3 hours have been absolutely amazing. Lindo?
I am happy. I like the comedians that are here, but also aksanya ko berga le di comedians.
Please.
Lervulai Samala, Huafisa. Y'all are just too funny, but thank you so much. It's been a privilege having you guys here.
We tlhokomela o gapa o peita o etsa dilo tse tshwantse mo di etse nkene malasa ba reki
No, it's your guys' fault.
No, thanks, man.
But before we leave, can you please reintroduce yourselves? If they ever want to book you or anything like that.
Eta, hola, who's it? You come along with VR6, aka Mavichocho. Come get it up. You can get me anywhere, man. Go to social thing. You can do social media handles.
Get me anywhere.
Because that's how I introduce myself now all the time. Every
Catch
time.
me anywhere.
Yeah,
catch me anywhere.
Like touch me, baby.
Hey, I'm Avasana. Hey, I'm mo Facebook man. Ke shop batla go itse.
Oh yeah, Vusi Lincoln Caesar.
Anyway.
Not fala Vus. Like Google Vus. Oh, there we go. So now take it Munyamore, T Media President. Yeah, man. Catch me more Facebook. Take it Munyamore. Twitter or X rather. Sorry. TikTok and Instagram. Take it _money. Laiti _muchecheli. Take it _money. Sure. Otherwise, yeah, man. I would say to your listeners, please go out there, go to comedy shows. Like for instance, tonight, the Go Vixie. We're there. It's going on. Find your favorite comedian. Comedy is the next house music. It's the next big thing since sliced bread. This thing is big. It's gonna blow up. Watch.
It's the next big thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
I believe him.
You believe him?
I believe him because Kalerete.
But you know what? They're going to a gig. No, we might as well leave with them. It is 6 o'clock.
Raushi.
Papa and Robse, man. I don't go Vicks. No, man. The view.
Oh, the views. Sorry, yeah, sing Vicks.
The views.
So I wonder how they got Vicks vape for rap. I'm sure never man. Malamo boardroom does. Vicks in the club, and then Baloko boardroom does, and then man. Re tla ring mare lebitso la rona 2 days e fitile re batla lebitso wa le re bitsa flamingo not flamingos too girly re bitsa dinatla not Vicks alenga ke Vicks nyana Vicks and there we have it.
So you guys gonna be at the View tonight, ne?
Yeah.
So Obakeng and I, Lesicha, everybody from TTFM can get you there.
Zogala, come on, everybody. Yeah. And lastly, before we leave, we bounce, man. I'd like to say thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you. And thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Most welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
And welcome.
96.2. Thank you.
Your ultimate dial. Dial.
Yeah. It's like poetry.
Sharp okay.
I think we can just walk out and go home.
Let's just leave.
We are done. We are tired.
Let's just leave. I'm tired, Obakeng.
I'm sweaty. I'm sticky. I've laughed so hard.
I need a shower.
I don't know. I can't.
And it's their fault.
It's their fault.
Oh, Rearamele as well. Vixie Elene.
Please leave our studios, please.
Bye, guys.
Please, bye.
Bye.
Please leave.
Thank you.
We're running a bit over time, Ingeseri. Please pardon us there and forgive us because it has been an absolutely amazing show. 3 hours of uninterrupted entertainment, music, as well as conversation right here on En Route 962. Lindo, let's close the show. Final words, Faye.
Final words. Kupela hadili khuntsibanya malle every time and again, ne?
Seconded.
Ne?
Seconded.
No, but for me, Lundo I thank you guys for tuning in. I really enjoyed being here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as we did because you can't
continue like that. You can't continue like that. But nevertheless, we've been holding it down for Khonse Molefe as well as Khalela Tangshadi. On your airwaves, and just like that, I say to you, goodbye.
Bye.
On Route 96.2. Mondays to Fridays. 3 to 6 p.m. on TUT FM.